Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Right then, on to another project. This one sort of come about unintentionally really. We got a few products we wanted to test and we've got a couple of people lined up for them, but it was getting a little bit more difficult than we wanted to be, sort of logistics behind it, so we decided start looking for a car and then we'll see what happens otherwise. So we had a little look about, nothing too serious, and then one of his customers just mentioned in the comments on one of his YouTube videos, he's always there, Brad, commenting away. He just said, oh, my dad's traded his in. I keep telling him, oh, he's trading his car in. I keep telling him to bring it down to you and get it tuned and, rather than buying a new one, but they've not given him a good price, so we'll have to see what happens when he gets his new one. So I just said, well, if it's not a done deal, we could probably have it. We've been looking for one. So we ended up with it at right money. It's an Audi A6 Black Edition. It's not the top spec as far as all the options, and it's not clean either, but it's only done 50,000 miles, and Brad's dad looked after it like it was one of his kids, maybe even better than one of his kids, so it's hardly done out really. It's the top spec, because you get the Black Edition in a 2 litre, this has got the 313 horsepower bi-turbo engine in it, which is one that we get asked quite a lot about. It's just totally standard under engine base. I don't know if there's any point popping bonnet and looking at that just yet. We'll look at that later on. But yeah, it's a decent enough spec. Nice black leather. It's only done 50,000 mile. No electric adjustable seats and all that stuff, which I'm not bothered about anyway. I like my cars to be simple. All these extra mod cons like Danny's got on his A7, I'm not really interested in. I just like my car to have 5 wheels, one of them for steering with. So yeah, it's a nice car. It drives pretty good. The tyres that are on it are probably not the best, so we've got some plans for that. So what we've decided to do, put some stuff in boot, and that is where all the mods are going to be. So this was going to be something we kept standard, but as you can see, it's not a boot full of every mod that we've got. But this is going to be the starting point. So I pull some of this out. Basically, first job you should always do on these bi-turbos, that's upside down, but I didn't want to put it down like that, is the intercooler, because the stand intercooler on these is just not big enough. So this is the upgrade that we do for them. Pretty similar to Wagner one, I believe, but this is coming from one of our suppliers. And this, I think from testing before, we've got about 15 horsepower or something like that fitting one of these, so makes a decent difference. But we'll do a back-to-back test. We're not just going to fit everything and hope for the best. We'll do the tuning first, and then we'll put the intercooler on, maybe while it's on the dyno, and then we'll go on to the next mods. So that should be a decent one. We'll do a bit more of a video on that when we take the old one off. So then the other upgrades, we'll ignore this for a second, but we've got SQ7 brakes. They should be going on, which all this is genuine stuff. It's all you can get at the minute, no aftermarket parts. This has been on our shelf for a little bit. These did plan to go on the B9 A4 that Scott's girlfriend runs about in now, but that was front wheel drive, so we didn't bother. Then we've got the H&R springs, which everybody knows what a set of springs looks like, so we'll not bother taking them out. But then the other mod, the big mod, which these are not going in the order I wanted them to go in, but we'll look at that in a second. This is the hybrid turbo that we've got going on. This is what everybody keeps asking for, and we've never tested one on these, but we've seen a lot of bad ones about it. We've had a lot of customers come with ones from all the big names, and they've never done what they need to do, so we've never really pushed it too hard. But as you can see with these, it's a ridiculously complicated setup. There's tons of stuff going on, but basically this is the first time I'm really looking at it, so I'm doing all this from memory. But this is a similar input to how the single turbos go. You've got each bank of cylinders going in here, and then you've got a little bypass valve in between. So you've got your little turbo here, so your big turbo here. I'm getting them mixed up here now. But you've got the exhaust flow goes in. That's for your EGR takeoff, so we can ignore that for now. But the exhaust flow goes into both turbos. You've got a flap here that stops it going into the big one to start with. So then your little one spools up. But that one, the little one, which this is not going to be the best explanation in the world. The little one gets spooled up initially, but the little one, it's sort of a semi-compound arrangement as such. The air filter goes onto the big one, but then it's compressing it a little bit because it's not getting all the exhaust flow, which will sort of come to. It's hard to explain these in one go. The feed comes from the compressor side of the big one, so the little one's compressing the air twice to start with. Even though it might only be doing 1 psi here, it's compressing it again there. But then the exhaust side from this all feeds back in to the big one again. So then you've got the flap that changes over as you want the little one to do less work. Then the big one takes over, which this is like a GT30 size. So in theory, like as standard, it's a GT30 size. So in theory, when people are saying like 450 horsepower standard, it's just impossible. 380s are about what we normally see from these, but soon we get to dyno. But in these big wheels, the wheel sizes are still to be confirmed because this is a prototype turbo, but it's got big exhaust and big inlet, a big exhaust wheel and a big compressor wheel and ball bearing on both of these turbos. So we'll see how it all works. But just as a little bit of extra information about this setup, the big turbo's wastegated and only the little turbo's variable geometry. So this is like a GTB 17 and this is a GT30. So it's quite a decent setup as standard. I think this works a little bit better than the BMW setups. They're both wastegated turbos on the older ones, but the newer ones are pretty similar to this as well. But I don't like how the bypass works on those. So this should make a decent difference. We're hoping this is a 450 horsepower turbo, which would be nice. I think the fuel system can take it. Obviously the intercooler will take it as well, and the drivetrain will definitely take it. But then the other mod, pardon me, which I don't want to damage it on the way out, so I'll clear a bit of room. We've got these. And these are genuine Bentleys. We get these from a place, I think Danny might put a link in. These have been coming from some guys that modify Bentleys, so they're taking these off brand new cars and putting some aftermarket wheels on. But probably some horrible aftermarket ones, I'd imagine, as well, that are hideously expensive. But we've got these at right sort of money. So this project that we're just going to buy to put a turbo on's turned into a little bit of a tarting up exercise as well. So yeah, we'll not have a chance to drive it on this first video. I think the best bet for us will be to get all the mods on, do the remap, and then we'll put it back to standard, and then I'll do the acceleration at the same time. So we'll do the acceleration standard, then we'll do the acceleration with a tune, then we'll put the intercooler on, put it on the dyno, see what difference it makes, and then see what difference that makes on the road, and try and do that all in one short period, so the weather conditions are the same and so everything else. And then once we're happy with how the car looks, the intercooling, make sure the engine's behaving, we might do a bit of gearbox tuning as well in between, then we'll get around to putting the big turbo on there and see what sort of power we can get out of this. And it'll be real power, not all this rubbish that you see kicking about on the internet. There's loads of these claiming stupid power figures. It's just absolutely impossible. Then maybe we'll go down methanol route and stuff like that and just see what difference it does make. 'Cause on a twin turbo setup that's got, the problem with these, have got no intercooling between. So this is why it's got a temperature sensor here. That's the key to when you want to stop the little turbo doing a lot of work, is when this is getting warm. So you're just compressing it twice, which is just ridiculous. So we'll see what happens anyway. things might evolve as time goes on, but there's going to be some interesting videos. Hopefully the next one is bolting some go fast looking bits on, and then hopefully the one after that will be actually bolting some go fast bits on. So let's see what we can do. Thank you for watching.